Hello guys, welcome back to Sport Khabri, Curiosity and Arun Food for another discussion on Indian football and also on the ISL transfers. What are the rumors? We are going to discuss. हमारे साथ अरुण सर जुड़ चुके हैं. राहुल भी यहाँ पे थोड़ी देर में जुड़ेंगे ड्यू टू सम टेक्निकल ग्लिच. यहाँ पे वो अभी तक जुड़े नहीं है बट वो भी बहुत जल्द जुड़ जाएंगे. तो सर सबसे पहले हेलो एंड हाउ आर यू एंड क्या चल रहा है इंडियन फुटबॉल मार्केट में क्या चल रहा है?
Good evening, Hiren. Good evening, everyone who's watching. And as Hiren said, Rahul hopefully will be joining us in a few minutes. It's been a calm and quiet weekend. I have to say, in the sense of generally, we are in the days and weeks up to the transfer market properly opening up in India. So therefore, from that perspective, it's been calm and quiet, and then I think we now have to wait and see what actually factually happens, because I think a lot of players who are out of contract are looking at who should I sign for. A lot of agents are going to be calling up a lot of people, a lot of conversations happening most probably in the background. So that's going to be interesting to see at the moment, and I think it will become more proactive from maybe this week onwards, maybe even next week, maybe at the start of June, when of course official confirmations come out, contracts are signed, transfers are formally done. But I think the big one while we were gone most probably is Adrian Luna extending to stay at Kerala Blasters. I think that's the big one, and to me that's the most important thing. I think because we've been discussing, of course, what is what are the opportunities, because he was being linked to Mumbai City amongst others. And therefore, to me, that's a big signing for the Blasters to be able to convince Adrian Luna to stay at the club, and maybe Adrian Luna will retire at the Blasters. That is an opportunity with a 3-year contract up to 2028. So therefore, let's wait and see.
राहुल वे फाइनली हमारे साथ जुड़ चुके हैं.
Hello everyone. Welcome back. I had some technical issues, but finally it's sorted. So let's get going with this, guys. Of course, transfers is what we're going to start off with. Hiren and Arnav, I know you guys I could hear you guys talking about Diamantakos before we started as well. What's the feeling around the Kerala Blasters striker, Arnav? Where are we at with Diamantakos?
I think East Bengal were the first movers who were trying to sign Diamantakos and bring in him as a striker with Clayton Silver to make a striking combo, which I find on one side interesting, but on the other side the question is what then happens to a Clayton Silver, because he's 37, 38. On the other side, Mumbai City has been there. Mumbai City, of course, has been targeting him, has also supposedly has had tried to target Adrian Luna, and now the Blasters have tied him down to a long-term 3-year contract. So therefore, Diamantakos is on the market, and it's very, again, as long, I always say that, right? As long as the contract is not signed, there could be someone with a steal, of the player. I heard earlier, I don't know if you heard it, guys, that even BFC at some stage were interested in Diamantakos, but I've not heard much about it in the last few days. But yeah, Diamantakos is on the market.
Interesting that. Your thoughts on Diamantakos?
आई थिंक काफी लंबे टाइम से उनका यहाँ पे ये रूमर तो चल ही रहा था कि ही इज गोइंग टू लीव, बिकॉज जो कॉन्ट्रैक्ट एक्सटेंशन की बात थी यहाँ पे केरला ब्लास्टर के साथ उतना ज्यादा यहाँ पे प्रोग्रेस नहीं कर पाई थी. एड्रियन लूना का तो यहाँ पे क्लब ने खुद ने भी वो यहाँ पे जो एक्सटेंशन क्लोज है उसको यहाँ पे उन्होंने एक्टिव कर दिया था, एंड फिर उन्होंने प्लेयर को भी कन्विंस कर लिया. सो वहां पे तो थोड़ी सी होप थी यहाँ पे केरला ब्लास्टर फैंस को अगर उसके पर्सपेक्टिव से देखे, बट दिमांताकोस का ऐसा सिनारियो था कि वहां पे फैंस को लग रहा था कि माइट लिव, एंड हमने लास्ट कुछ एक आध मैचेस में आई थिंक उनका टीफो भी देखा था कि फैंस ने वो बोला था कि मतलब जहाँ पे उन्होंने मेंशन किया था रिगार्डिंग कि दिमांताकोस यू नीड टू स्टे और समथिंग लाइक दैट. सो उस सेंस में कहीं ना कहीं ये लग रहा था कि माइट लिव, एंड डेफिनेटली वन ऑफ दी, अगर आप पिछले 2 सीजन से आप देखिए जिस तरह से उनका इम्पैक्ट रहा है, एड्रियन लूना के बाद सबसे ज्यादा यहाँ पे आप बोलेंगे कि केरला ब्लास्टर के लिए कोई यहाँ पे प्लेयर का जो इम्पोर्टेंस या फिर यहाँ पे आप इम्पैक्ट देखेंगे तो वो थे यहाँ पे दिमांताकोस. दैट्स अ बिग लॉस फॉर केरला ब्लास्टर. नाउ द चैलेंज फॉर देम इज टू फाइंड अ रिप्लेसमेंट की जो उसके जितना या फिर उससे बेटर यहाँ पे आपको सीजन बाय सीजन यहाँ पे डिलीवर करके दे, क्योंकि बंदे ने लगातार 2 सीजन दिया है आपको डिलीवर करके, और इस सीजन भी आप देखिए जिस तरह से उनका परफॉर्मेंस था। सो एट द मोमेंट जैसे सर ने बताया कि ईस्ट बंगाल एंड मुंबई सिटी का यहाँ पे नाम लेके क्या आ रहा है, क्योंकि मुंबई सिटी के लिए भी यहाँ पे परेरा डियास का यहाँ पे जाना तय है। सो उनको भी एक यहाँ पे फॉरेन स्ट्राइकर चाहिए। एंड ईस्ट बंगाल जैसे सर ने बोला कि क्लिंटन सिल्वा अगर आपने उनको एक्सटेंशन दिया है तो देन इट विल बी इंटरेस्टिंग टू सी कि किस तरह से यहाँ पे आप 2 स्ट्राइकर के कॉम्बो के साथ खेल सकते हो। ये देखिए ये आपके लिए वर्क भी कर सकता है, नहीं भी कर सकता। एंड ऑब्वियसली एक बात जरूर है कि आप ACL 2 में खेलने वाले हो, सो आपको थोड़ा सा स्कोर डेप्थ भी चाहिए होगा, फॉरेन कोटा में भी ये सारी चीजें है। बट लेट्स सी अगर वो वहां पे ज्वाइन करते हैं तो किस तरह से सारी चीजें वर्कआउट होती है। बट आई थिंक दिमांशा को इज अ मतलब आई थिंक ISL प्रूवन प्लेयर नाउ आप बोल सकते हो। सो आई थिंक अदर क्लब्स आल्सो माइट बी इंटरेस्टेड जिनको यहाँ पे स्ट्राइकर की जरूरत है। सो आई थिंक इट विल बी इंटरेस्टिंग सिनेरियो।
I know there are a couple of questions in the chat about Changte's future as well. Is he likely to stay at Mumbai itself?
I mean, Mohan Bagan tried to, put in a bid for him, and again, we've had this whole Apuya episode a few weeks ago. Again, this is transfer season talk, I would think, at the moment. I think the interesting part would be if I still think that for players like Changte and Apuya, if they want to go abroad, I think, again, Changte is a few years older than Apuya, but I think both of the players could go and try their luck abroad. So let's wait and see.
Hiren, you see that happening, or you think Apuya or Changte, both, either of them could try a stint abroad sometime soon?
I think so. I think so. If they want to move into, you can say कि in their careers perspective wise into next step, then I think that is the step. I think अगर ISL में आप कहीं पे भी मूव करोगे तो आप ये नहीं बोलेंगे, क्योंकि मुंबई सिटी एट द मोमेंट आप बोल सकते हो कि ISL में आप टॉप 2 क्लब्स में आता है। सो वहां से आपको ज्यादा उस तरह से आप दूसरे क्लब में जाओगे तो ज्यादा ट्रॉफी जीत जाओगे, या फिर एज सच अब ग्रोथ वाइज आप नहीं बोलेंगे कि वो हो सकता है। आई थिंक द next step in terms of the growth wise is to go outside abroad and to you can say challenge yourself. I think for both the players I would say. So that is the scenario.
Yeah, no, Hiren makes I think good point. What is Apuya? Apuya or Changte, either of them. What would they potentially get, even if they do move to Mohan Bagan Super Giants? They're probably in the best club in India right now. Would they really? There's nothing much to gain, right, through the move.
Well, the only thing most probably that you could throw in would be most probably say you will be able to play ACL 2 next season. That's the only thing that I can see. But I think is from a personal perspective, the question is, what do you want to do, or is it a matter of money? Because yes, Mohan Bagan has been, has been offering higher contracts to players. So the question is if that is really your aim. But again, these guys are earning at a level where, does it really make that much of a difference to earn X, Y, Z? I don't know what the figure is, and therefore for me, I think that's the thing. Again, trying to go abroad, you would be earning much less. That's also a reality for these players, right? But again, we've seen, starting with Baichung, with Sunil, with Gurpreet, with Sandesh, with Shubroto, with Mangi, all these players have tried their luck abroad, right? And we have to be honest, none of them actually made it. That's the other fact. It's a reality. From a human perspective, I think Baichung and Sunil have, or Gurpreet as well, all of these boys have gained massively. So the question is, from a human development perspective, especially if you see that these guys are actually studying, they're educating themselves. This is something which you rarely hear in Indian football. You see that once in a while with players in Europe. I remember when I was working at Bayern that Oliver Kahn was doing his a finance degree. He later on, after he ended his career, did the sports management degree. So that is something which you hear from a lot of these top players, that they do it. You rarely hear it from Indian players. A lot of these boys have ended their schooling at class 10, even class 9 or whatever, So therefore, I think it would be a smart move with the right team, with the right club. I think both of them would gain a lot. So therefore, let's see where this whole thing goes.
Okay, Hiren, any interesting news on other players' movement in the window?
आई थिंक बाकी तो इंटरेस्टिंग में आई थिंक वो चेन्नई एनएफसी का नाम जुड़ा है विथ लुकास ब्रेम्बिला, ब्राजीलियन विंगर अटैकिंग मिडफील्डर। जो कि आई थिंक बुल्गारियन लीग में एट द मोमेंट खेल रहे हैं। और दूसरा यहाँ पे मोहम्मदन एससी का एक नाम यहाँ पे जुड़ा है विद फ्रेंका, अनदर ब्राजीलियन, जो कि आई थिंक साइप्रस की लीग में मे बी आई थिंक खेल
No,
रहे हैं।
Bulgaria. He's
वो
also
अच्छा,
Bulgaria.
वो बल्गारिया की खेल रहे हैं, और लुकास ब्रेम्बिला इज प्लेइंग इन साइप्रस लीग।
Yeah,
सो
sorry,
ये
I
दो
was there.
प्लेयरों का हाँ, तो ये दो प्लेयरों का आई थिंक फॉरेनर्स में आप देखें तो ये अभी एट द मोमेंट यहाँ पे लिंकअप न्यूज आ रहे हैं। दूसरा तो आई थिंक केरला ब्लास्टर ने वो आई थिंक आइजोल का वो जो आर लालथन माविया उनको यहाँ पे साइन किया है, 22 ईयर ओल्ड विंगर। देन मोहम्मदन हैज साइन आल्सो देयर राइट बैक, आइजोल एफसी राइट बैक, जोई जोथन पे ऐसा कुछ नाम है उनका, एग्जैक्टली मेरे को उसका पता नहीं है नाम। एंड अदर देन दैट आई थिंक चेन्नई एफसी ने जितेश्वर सिंह का कॉन्ट्रैक्ट एक्सटेंशन किया है, जिसका बात निकल के आ रहा था कि ही माइट लीव चेन्नई एफसी, सो उनको 1 साल का कॉन्ट्रैक्ट एक्सटेंशन दिया है। एंड पंजाब एफसी ने यहाँ पे निंथोग्मा मिते इनको साइन किया है। सो दीस आर दी करंट यहाँ पे डील्स जो कुछ पिछले कुछ दिनों में हुए। एंड गौरव बोरा, यस, गौरव बोरा आल्सो जॉइंड मोहम्मदन एससी फ्रॉम नॉर्थ ईस्ट यूनाइटेड एफसी। सो ये रूमर्स इतने इतने एट द मोमेंट हुए हैं।
Yeah, in that, advice, Ninthoi has moved probably the biggest one in the ISL so far.
Could talk about Ninthoi, I guess, also Vineet Rai. So it's interesting that two East Bengal targets have actually gone to Punjab FC. So, you know, and again, I think Ninthoi gives them potentially something where you can, you know, can try and structure the team a little differently depending on how you're going to build. You know, if you can get a Mehdi Talal like a character again, we have a central striker, and Ninthoi could be the other winger. You could get a holding 4 and 6, so to say. I think that was one of their problems. So he does give them something, and someone who's been, you know, part of the Indian Under-17 World Cup squad. And one of those many boys who have a lot of promise, but now need to take the next step. You know, that's I think the big thing for him, for a lot of these boys who are now 22, 23. You know, I guess Anwar Ali and Apuya and Suresh are sort of the big exceptions, but the others are, you know, here and there.
Hiren, as far as East Bengal are concerned, any news around them? There's a question about
ईस्ट बंगाल का आई थिंक ईस्ट बंगाल का बिगेस्ट न्यूज यही है, दिमांता कोच की रेस में वो है, बस वही आई थिंक आज के दिन तो वही उनके लिए सबसे बड़ा यहाँ पे न्यूज आया है, अगर आप देखें तो उस सेंस में। बाकी आई थिंक जैसे सर ने भी बोला कि अभी ट्रांसफर विंडो बड़ा लंबा भी है, अभी तो काफी टाइम भी बचा हुआ है, सो डील्स होंगी यहाँ पे आगे आने वाले टाइम। बट ये नॉर्थ ईस्ट यूनाइटेड की ओर से भाई एट द मोमेंट कोई यहाँ पे ऐसे कीमत नहीं आया है। बट बीच में मैं यहाँ पे सबसे भी जानना चाहता हूँ, ये जो आईएसएल में रूल चेंजेस आ रहे हैं, बेसिकली ऐसे मतलब ये रूल चेंजेस से उतना ज्यादा मैं डिफरेंस तो उस सेंस में नहीं देख रहा हूँ कि
Hiren, you have to term it differently because it's been reported, so it's not confirmed. So therefore,
हाँ
that's the
मैं वही
first
बोल
thing,
रहा हूँ।
right? So yeah, I mean, see, rule changes is one thing. The 16.5 crore salary cap has been there, but again, if you add up the numbers,
हाँ
it doesn't work. So that's a joke in itself. To do away with the Asian quota foreigner to come in line with the AFC, yeah, has its advantages, has disadvantages, I guess. It might be interesting to see that it might be bad for the Australian players in the ISL because suddenly you will not be, you know, most of the slots have been taken by Australians or, you know, boys from, Middle East, you know, who've come into the league. So therefore, that would mean that potentially there would be more players from Spain, England, Brazil, or wherever, or France coming to the league, which is on one side good on the quality, and on the side might be for the clubs also on the price. Because if you see the prices being quoted for Jamie McLaren, I think there were some of them were really ridiculous at some stage, I felt. Yeah, that's something which makes it very interesting to wait and see what actually factually happens. These are small potential changes, but especially the foreigner rule change has a huge impact.
बट सर आई थिंक अगर आप देखें कि नो डाउट एशियन प्लेयर की जगह पे आपको अगर मौका मिल रहा है कि आप कोई भी प्लेयर साइन कर सकते हो, तो आप एक मार्केट आपको थोड़ा सा बड़ा मिल जाता है उस एक प्लेयर के लिए। बट अगर आप अब देखें तो अगर आपकी स्काउटिंग सही है तो एशियन प्लेयर भी आपके लिए वर्क कर सकते हैं। मतलब मोहन बगान इसका परफेक्ट एग्जांपल है, 3 उनके पास एशियन कोटा के प्लेयर है, ब्रेंडन हेमिल, जेसन क्यूमिंग्स, पेत्राटोस, एंड उन्होंने आईएसएल जीता है। क्योंकि कुछ यहाँ पे आप देखिए कि इट्स रादर मोर डिपेंड, नो डाउट यहाँ पे आप यूरोपियन या फिर साउथ अमेरिकन प्लेयर बोलेंगे तो कंपेटिटिवली एशिया के ओवरऑल प्लेयरों से क्वालिटी में आप बोल सकते हो, बट स्काउटिंग अगर आपका सही है तो फिर तो
It's not about
ओरिजिन कहीं से हो।
Hiren, it's not about the scouting and the quality. It's about the price. The Australian
राइट,
players is a
ओके।
limited pool. So if you look at Jamie McLaren, the figures that again were being linked with Mohan Bagan, for that you can get 3, 4, 5 players from Europe.
यूरोप।
And that's the crazy part. So therefore, as I said, Mohan Bagan maybe with that Spanish coaching contingent, they might bring in suddenly 5 Spaniards instead of having 3 Aussies, right? So for me, for the Australians who are in the it will be difficult, let's say, for the Jordan Murrays of this world. They are here because of the quota, right? Petratos is too good, let's put it this way. But would they have signed Jason Cummings for that figure, or would they have signed an experienced? You would have most probably signed a player of the level of, let's say, Carlos Martinez, who's going to be much cheaper. So therefore, that's the interesting part in this whole transfer business issue, and where are you targeting players? So therefore, let's wait and see.
दूसरा सर जो आ रहा है रिपोर्ट की यहाँ पे सैलरी कैप, जैसे आपने बोला कि सैलरी कैप 16.5 करोड़ था, बट क्लब्स फिर भी उसको यहाँ पे बिहाइंड द सीन हमको पता ही कि वो कितना स्पेंड करते हैं, जिसको अब इन्होंने 18 करोड़ कर दिया है +2 मार्की प्लेयर्स, यानी कि आपको आप फॉरेन प्लेयर के ऊपर आप ज्यादा उस वे में स्पेंड कर सकते हो। बट आपको नहीं लगता कि सैलरी कैप बढ़ाने से आई थिंक इंडियन प्लेयरों का जो अभी एट द मोमेंट मार्केट वैल्यू है, जो कि इन्फ्लेटेड ही है यहाँ पे उनकी क्वालिटी के हिसाब से और ग्लोबल मार्केट से पर्सपेक्टिव से भी देखे, ये सैलरी कैप बढ़ाने से और भी ज्यादा इन्फ्लेटेड हो जाएगा, मतलब उसको पुश ही करेगा ये, ऐसा नहीं होगा कि उसको तो लिमिट करने की कोशिश होगा, क्योंकि अब क्लब यहाँ पे जो भी 1.5 करोड़ इंक्रीज हुआ है वो चाहेगा कि भाई इंडियन प्लेयर के ऊपर और भी ज्यादा यहाँ पे क्या बोलते कि उसको और ज्यादा सैलरीज दे के यहाँ पे क्या बोलते कि चाहे उसकी क्वालिटी उसके सैलरी के हिसाब से जस्टिफाइबल ना हो, बट फिर भी यहाँ पे उसको थोड़ा सा एनकरेजिंग ही करेगा ये मूव। आपको क्या लगता है?
See, I think the problem of a salary cap in England, and I think the only one which really works is the one in North America, because in North America your contracts are transparent. You know what a university signing via the draft is getting, but you also know what Lionel Messi is getting, right? I mean, think about it, that Lionel Messi's salary is being paid by all 30 MLS teams. So or Jesse Marsh was just appointed as Canada head coach, which is because his salary is so high. It is only possible because Vancouver Whitecaps, CF Montreal, and Toronto FC put money to Canada Soccer to get the coach, right? Which is anywhere else in the world unthinkable. Think about saying, "Arey bhai, I don't know, Man United wants to bring Cristiano Ronaldo back. The whole Premier League pays for that." Not happening, right? So therefore, again, the thought process: a salary cap is an interesting and a nice idea if it's in a very transparent way. If we know that Mohan Bagan is spending 70 crores, how do we come to the 16.5 crores? It doesn't add up. You just need to add up the salaries of a Sahal, of a Thapa, of a Anwar. So your key Indian players already have those salaries, and add on top of it the foreigners. You take one of the marquees out. Let's say you take Jason Cummings even out, but think about what the 5 foreigners are earning. So you actually got 8 players who are most probably earning 16.5 crores at Mohan Bagan, and you're thinking of offering Changte, what was it, 4.5, 5 crores per year. So the salary cap is a nice potential tool to work on, but I don't think it doesn't work in such a system. And you could work around it. Mr. Goenka could say, you know what, I give you a brand ambassador deal from CESC or from another company of mine. Bas khatam. You can't do that. That's the whole discussion about Manchester City or PSG in regard to their funding, right? Which again, other clubs have also done, but no one is going to talk about it. Even Arsenal or Liverpool, whatever, have done that, right? So therefore, Man United have done that with the Glazers. So let's see.
Yep. Fair enough, guys. Just one more question I wanted to ask you, Anava. What is the status with FSDL and the ISL and their contract? Has there been any development in the past few weeks?
Listen, there are elections on in India.
Yeah.
The Ambanis have a wedding in June coming up. They have other priorities. Mumbai Indians did very, very badly in the IPL. This is not part of their priorities. And look at the AFF again, going around and selling themselves and not realizing that FIFA is not your best friend. FIFA, IFC are rating you very badly at the moment, and you think that everything is good and fine. No, it's not. So these are realities, no?
Fair enough. Well then, guys, moving on to India. That game against Kuwait is getting ever so close. Hiren, any updates that you have to share for us with regard to India's camp?
गेम के तो आई थिंक वीडियोस हम देख रहे हैं यहाँ पे। आज आज मैंने एक फनी कमेंट पढ़ा, किसी ने आज सोशल मीडिया पे लिखा था, वो जो क्या बोलते हैं कि एस्टिमेशन में जो प्लेयरों के साथ वीडियो डाला, तो उन्होंने बोला ये कोच से ज्यादा ये फिजियो लग रहे हैं बिकॉज उसका जो मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम वो वीडियो में वो जिम सेशन में वो यहाँ पे प्लेयरों को क्या बोलते हैं कि इंस्ट्रक्शन देते हुए दिख रहे थे। बट जोकर साइड आई थिंक नाउ तो एक्स्ट्रा मतलब जिस तरह से यहाँ पे पूरा सुनील छेत्री का सागा हुआ है, तो उसके बाद तो डेफिनेटली प्लेयरों में भी वो एक्स्ट्रा मोटिवेशन होना चाहिए। एंड चांगते का थोड़ा सा यहाँ पे कंफ्यूजन बना हुआ था, बट आई थिंक जो अभी रिसेंट पोस्ट यहाँ पे एएफएफ ने अपने सोशल मीडिया पे की थी, वहाँ पे तो चांगते टीम के साथ दिख रहे थे। सो आई डोंट नो एग्जैक्टली द सिचुएशन रिगार्डिंग हिम कि क्या उसका सिनारियो है कि वो यहाँ पे कुवैत के लिए खेलेंगे, नहीं कुवैत के सामने खेलेंगे कि नहीं खेलेंगे। बट टीम इज ट्रेनिंग एट द मोमेंट इन भुवनेश्वर एंड लेट्स सी। यहाँ पे इस बार तो आपको इनफ टाइम भी मिला है प्रिपरेशन करने के लिए, सारी चीजें आपको मिली है एंड आप होम पे भी खेलने वाले हो नेक्स्ट मैच। सो अगेंस्ट यू कैन से कि मे बी फुल हाउस, सो इन दैट सेंस एवरीथिंग must be going you can say right and you need to deliver.
Yep. No, you think based on social media posts, the boys are looking motivated, extra motivated because it's Sunil Chetri's last game?
It's a social media post. So I for me is if you would be at the camp and would be watching things 24/7, then you can make a judgment on that. Just watching a social media post, you can't understand how the mood really is, because when the cameras are on, maybe you are not behaving the way you would be, behaving. So therefore, for me, I know that there are rumblings in the squad. There are problems in the squad. I've also seen a post yesterday from an ex-India international who was infuriated in the goalkeeping training and said, if this is the goalkeeping training of the Indian national team, then why are these guys, they're being trained worse than they're being trained at the club? So there are questions being raised by certain people. The FF is not acting. You've seen the one and the other statement from the former Secretary General stating, you know what, the technical committee took a decision, I just had to sign it off, sort of thing. People are washing their hands off that Steve Match's contract has been extended. This is something which I found very, very bizarre. So for me, very, very clearly, there are things not right around the India camp. The whole Sunil thing might, cover up those problems. And I don't know what to expect really, because we don't have a friendly game before that again, and that's a question people ask. We can't also have a friendly game because we are playing in the FIFA windows. There will be no Tri-Nation, there will be no Intercontinental Cup. Our focus are the World Cup qualifiers, and no other team will come also. So that's also a reality also. So we can't say, listen, we're going to play 50 matches, and to me, Ishan says Sahal looks fit in the training. Sahal is not fit. I know from Mohun Bagan people, they're saying that Sahal is not fit and not ready to play at the moment. See, this is deceiving in videos. And to me, the videos that they're posting, why are we so often in the gym? Why are we not on the ground?
Exactly. सर वो कमेंट भी वो जो फैन ने मैंने सोशल मीडिया पे देखा, वो वही बोला कि ये जो कोच हमारा है वो ज्यादा जिम ट्रेनर लग रहा है रादर देन कोच की। यहाँ पे आप जितने भी उन्होंने मतलब जो टीम एएफएफ में जो वीडियो डाला, जो टीमेश ने भी डाला, सारे जिम के सेशन के ज्यादा है।
It's for me, it's I and that's the problem, right? I remember when we were in the ISL, some of our senior players at Mumbai City, foreigners said, listen, you train more in one day in the gym that I train the whole year in the bloody Bundesliga or the Premier League. This gym, You have in Bhubaneswar the possibility. I know the weather is hot. Why are you not training twice a day on the field? Simple question. We have basic problems. So why are we not having, a training session, let's say in the morning, where we do the basics? Stop the ball, pass. Goalkeeper, idhar, udhar. Just play. And the afternoon, do tactical training. So from my perspective, yeah, I've said that the coach is not good enough, and that's the whole problem of the whole situation. I think someone who's better, technically equipped, would try and work. You've got a month to work with the players. What are you doing? Doing this, doing this, doing this? What? Kya kar rahe? Physical fitness is not our problem. Our problem is that we're not good with the ball. Work on that.
Yep.
Ishan,
Technically.
rondos are not going to be the things that's going to be changing the things. You need to have proper training sessions where you plan your session and say, you know what, you've got 4 weeks. You can give a 6-day, 7-day chart and say, listen, I will work on this, in the morning and this on the afternoon. So for me, that is something which is the need of the hour. These guys are fit enough. You saw them in the ISL final. If they're not fit enough, they cannot play that game at the Salt Lake Stadium. They could have not played the semifinals of the ISL. So the question is, am I doing the right recovery? Am I doing the right planning, the right structuring? Why? The question to me is, the March window was the perfect example. Why are players who are fit 10 days before are suddenly looking unfit for the Indian team? And then when they go back to the team playing 5-7 days later, they look fit again. This should be the question asked to the coach. Are the players coming in, and that's something which I find very disturbing. And that's the problem with now what is happening once again is with this whole Sunil retirement story happening, the problems around the Indian team are being covered up. Right? Where is the discussion? Fan boycott, fan boycott के बारे में था. कहाँ गया fan boycott?
नहीं मैं वही बोल रहा हूँ कि सर आई थिंक मतलब अगेन जैसे अभी आपने जैसे बोला कि सुनील छेत्री का रिटायरमेट का अनाउंसमेंट हुआ है, तो काफी सारे ऐसे लोग भी इस मैच को देखेंगे कि जो जनरली यहाँ पे इंडियन फुटबॉल को नहीं देखते या फिर जो यहाँ पे बाकी फुटबॉल को देखते हैं, तो वो भी यहाँ पे डेफिनेटली इस मैच को यहाँ पे, क्योंकि लास्ट मैच है तो यहाँ पे फॉलो करने की कोशिश करेंगे. लेकिन इवेंचुअली हम जैसे फैंस जो यहाँ पे रेगुलर आप यहाँ पे फॉलो करें, उनको तो पता है कि वहाँ पे क्या होने वाला है. कुवैत के सामने हम हारने वाले हैं, वो तो गिवन है, उसमें कोई देयर इज नो डाउट अबाउट दैट. तो फिर से वो लोग यहाँ पे क्या बोलते हैं कि देख के डिसअपॉइंट हो जाएंगे कि भाई क्या लास्ट मैच में भी जीत नहीं पाए. बट उनको ये पता नहीं है ना कि बिहाइंड द सीन ये सारी चीजें सही नहीं है, अदरवाइज इससे तो बेटर कर ही सकते थे. सो दिक्कत वहीं पे है ना.
The disturbing story in all of this is that, listen, our team is not the best in the world, given. Okay, I think as Indian football fans, we need to accept that fact. But I also think that we are not as bad as what we've played in the last few months. That is my concern. We were not as good as we were made last year. I mean, again, I was there. I saw the semi. I saw the final with my own eyes. We were not better than Lebanon and Kuwait. We were not better. We were lucky. Let's be honest about that. But at least in those games, I saw passion. Those 2 matches, the Indian team gave everything. Lovely, great atmosphere at the Kantiraba. Brilliant. But after that, okay, Iraq 2-2, TK. I say we played well. Yes, Iraq did they take it seriously? I don't think they took. You saw how Iraq played in the Asian Cup, so that's why and the same team played. And then we saw, slowly, So let's see. So that to me is the concern, is that this team is not the best in the world, but we're not as bad as we cannot lose against a ragtag Afghanistan. This is something which I cannot accept. A team where 4 players are out of contract, who are just keeping themselves fit. Amiri just played 2 games and then retired. So that, we cannot be. These players are
but sir,
superstars and whatever, but we didn't get anything out of it.
बट सर ये हमने काफी बार ये हमने पहले भी देर से डिस्कस किया था, बट ये हमने काफी बड़ी टीमों में भी देखा है कि जब चाहे कितने भी आपके पास बढ़िया प्लेयर हो, आपका जब टीम एनवायरनमेंट सही नहीं है तो रिजल्ट नहीं आता. एंड इट्स अ टीम स्पोर्ट, इंडिविजुअल स्पोर्ट तो है नहीं. तो अगर टीम का माहौल वो सही नहीं है तो फिर तो आप सामने कोई सी भी टीम हो, अफगानिस्तान हो या फिर इवन अभी पाकिस्तान के सामने भी हमको खिला देंगे। हम वो जो हमने वो यहाँ पे बेंगलोर में जो परफॉर्मेंस दी थी वो रिपीट नहीं कर सकते वो पाकिस्तान के सामने। सो दैट इज द रियलिटी ना कि टीम का माहौल ही वो नहीं है, टीम का एटमोस्फेयर
I
ही वो
I
नहीं है, तो क्या सेम पे।
Hiren, I take a simple example of European club football. Real Madrid. Has
हाँ,
Real Madrid been in the last 4 or 5 years the best club side in Europe? No,
नहीं,
but they're winning the Champions League on a regular basis. You know,
Yeah.
Rahul's Arsenal played against Bayern. Best opportunity to beat Bayern, but Bayern still beat Arsenal, right? And Bayern were better than Arsenal. You know, one that I have to say. You know, I'm very proud of that. But that is the thing, right? Is you are ready for big matches. And then Igor Stima saying there wasn't a camp in March. Listen, again, how can it be in 6-7 days the players are worse than they were 1 week before in the ISL? That means you've not trained properly for a week. If you see
बट
what
ये
is being posted from the gym or from the training sessions, that looks very basic to me. These players, if you had done what he did 20 years ago, Indian team would have been fine because nothing was done in those days. But in today's ISL world, look at the training sessions of even the videos are available. Look at some training sessions, some stuff which is available from Mohun Bagan. Look at what
केरला
Mumbai
ब्लास्टर
City
के
does. Kerala Blasters ka, Goa, the Manolo's training sessions, there's stuff available. You know. So for me, this is I don't know.
I सर आई यूज्ड टू वॉच, मतलब एफसी बार्सिलोना का हर रोज यहाँ पे उनका जो ट्रेनिंग सेशन होता है, उनका हर रोज वीडियो आता है यूट्यूब पे 4-5 मिनट का। मतलब वो भी आपको देख के वो मजा आ जाता है कि हाँ भाई ये मतलब जिस तरह से उसमें पूरा वो सारे ट्रेनिंग डिफरेंट डिफरेंट दिखाते और करते हैं। तो डेफिनेटली आपने वो सही बोला। दूसरा सर, अभी रिसेंटली सुनील छेत्री ने आफ्टर दिस रिटायरमेंट अनाउंसमेंट उन्होंने खुद ने इंटरव्यू में बोला है कि आई लाइक पोजेशन बेस्ड फुटबॉल, एंड जैसे मैनचेस्टर सिटी का एक अलग स्टाइल है, रियल मैड्रिड का अलग है, वो इसलिए वो एग्जीक्यूट कर पाते क्योंकि कोच एंड प्लेयर सेम पेज पे। तो ये सेम चीज इंडियन टीम में भी लागू होती है कि अगर कोच एंड प्लेयर सेम पेज पे नहीं है तो कोई सा भी गेम प्लेइंग स्टाइल हो, वॉट एवर प्लेइंग स्टाइल, और आपके प्लेयरों की जितनी भी क्वालिटी है वो भी वहां पे आप एग्जीक्यूट नहीं कर पाओगे, ऑब्वियसली चीज है।
And I think your best example, I think, is Jurgen Klopp and his team, right? This season. If you think they won the Carabao Cup with some, I don't know, boys who next Monday went to school back to school, sorry. That shows you, when the players want to play for a coach. And I think I know from multiple players that they're not happy with the coach. But they don't have an outlet to speak to the federation and tell them, listen, guys, we don't want to play under this coach. Which means that the federation president doesn't know what's happening. The former secretary doesn't know what was happening while he was there. The technical committee. And this is a simple thing. Vijubhai, just go and speak to the players. That would be my request, that you, as someone who knows everything, you've seen everything. I know what kind of a player you are, and you're a great human being. So just go and speak to the players and understand the problems. So therefore, for me, it is.
नहीं, बट सर यहाँ पे अगर कोई प्लेयर बोलेगा तो एएफएफ खुद उनके ऊपर ही यहाँ पे वो हो जाएगा, और आगे से अगर कोच चेंज भी होगा
It doesn't have to be public, no, Hiren. This is something, again, in certain countries you would do it publicly, right? But you don't do it publicly. This is, again, I am Vijayan is an approachable person. The one or the other player, surely if he wants to, can reach out to him, or Eugenson Lindo, whoever, Climax Lawrence, these guys these are former India internationals. You can at least speak to them and try and find out these things are happening. Yeah? So for me, those things are not happening. Those communications are not happening. There are decisions being taken. You saw in the women's team, right? Thomas Dennerby was brought back. Right? I mean, again, a European example, Bayern Munich. The players last week after the Real Madrid match, spoke with the management, said, listen, you know what? You're not finding a new coach. You know what? With Thomas Tuchel, maybe you should keep him. So teams have influence. More or less, good or bad, can always be discussed. But in this instance, with the national team not functioning, and I don't see that the reality has been accepted that this team is not functioning. That is our biggest problem.
Exactly. I think वो एक्सेप्टेंस किसी की ओर से नहीं आया है, किसी की ओर से। यहाँ पे सुनील छेत्री ने भी यहाँ पे लास्ट में बोला कि अफगानिस्तान के सामने वी वर रबिश, बट कहीं पे वो किसी भी प्लेयर की ओर से या फिर किसी की भी ओर से, चाहे वो एएफएफ हो या फिर कोई भी जो टीम के साथ मैनेजमेंट के तौर पे या फिर किसी भी रोल में जुड़ा हुआ है, नो वन हैज एक्सेप्टेड दैट दिस टीम हैज अ फंक्शनल प्रॉब्लम एनवायरमेंटल एक तरह से कि प्रॉब्लम, और जिस तरह से यहाँ पे आपका क्या बोलते हैं कि वो होना चाहिए कोच एंड प्लेयरों का क्या बोलते हैं कि ट्रस्ट एंड वॉट एवर यू कॉल इट, तो वो यहाँ पे नहीं है टीम में। आई थिंक पिछले कुछ मैचेस में वो नहीं दिखा है, दैट इज द रीजन कि आपकी प्ले टीम इतनी ज्यादा खराब दिख रही है, क्योंकि मैं ये नहीं बोल रहा कि वो वर्ल्ड क्लास है, बट इससे तो बेटर है ही है।
Yeah.
But guys, I know I've gone through this as well. But knowing that Sunil Chhetri is retiring, I'm sure a lot of us are hopeful that we're going to get a result because the players are going to give it probably a little extra. Hiren, optimistic now, looking at it.
ये मैंने एक दो दिन पहले जब लाइव किया था तब भी मैंने बोला था कि पहले तो मेरा ये मतलब जब से अफगानिस्तान के सामने या फिर उससे भी पहले बोल दिया था कि हमारा कुछ होने वाला नहीं है, बट अभी एज अ फैन तो आपका थोड़ा सा ऑप्टिमिज्म आ जाता है, तो मैं इतना बोल सकता हूँ कि ज्यादा से ज्यादा अगर बहुत ही अच्छा यहाँ पे प्लेयरों ने मतलब ये बोल दिया कि भाई हमारे आईडीएल का लास्ट मैच है और 200% भी दे दिया, तब भी मैं एक्सपेक्ट कर रहा हूँ द मैक्सिमम रिजल्ट इज प्रो, उससे उससे ज्यादा नहीं। आई थिंक दैट इज वेयर मैक्सिमम वी कैन गो in terms of the performance wise। I think उससे ज्यादा मैं नहीं एक्सपेक्ट कर रहा हूँ।
You're on mute.
Just wanted to confirm to Rudra, we spoke about it a little earlier in the show. Diamantagos there's no confirmation of the signing from East Bengal. So just wanted to clarify that. Yeah, coming to Arnav, any sense of optimism because Sunil Chhetri is retiring that we could win this? Hiren saying draw at best. Think we can snatch a win?
See, as I always say, the game starts at 0-0, right? So therefore, we're playing at home. It will be a very, very special atmosphere that day in Kolkata. The boys will try and give it all. The question to me is what is going to happen in that camp in the next 3 weeks, right? That's my only concern, is that are they going to do the right things to prepare the team for this game, or are they going to do that whatever they've been doing and which has not been working for a while? So the question is, yes, even if you want to give everything for Sunil, but there is this underlying problem with the coach. Where does this end up? And that's the big danger in this whole scenario that surrounds the Indian national team at the moment. And that's the thing. Yeah.
एक दूसरा क्वेश्चन मेरा उसी के रिगार्डिंग था कि मान लीजिए कि हमने कुवैत को हरा भी दिया, बट व्हाट इज द सर रूल रिगार्डिंग हेड टू हेड और जीडी, बिकॉज अगर अफगानिस्तान कुवैत को हरा देता है उसके मैच के बाद, देन तो हम चाहे भले ही इसको हराया फिर भी वही क्वालिफाई करेंगे।
If I got it right, because I've been looking at it for a while, at the moment I saw only a goal difference, so that is clearly for us. But normally it's head to head, right? So I don't know.
Yep, and I mean there is a game after that as well where we just letting that be and we're just putting that aside and just saying this is our only realistic chance.
बट राहुल, बट अभी किसी ने कमेंट किया था कि कोई बोल रहा है कि मतलब मैंने जब एक दो दिन पहले लाइव किया तो कुछ लोग बोल रहे थे कि वी कैन ड्रॉ अगेंस्ट कतार, तो ऐसे भी फैन अभी भी है कि जो एक अलग ही दुनिया में है कि जिनको लग रहा है कि कतार के सामने भी वो ड्रॉ कर सकते हैं, बट देयर इज नो चांस राहुल, टू बी ऑनेस्ट, इन अवे गेम अगेंस्ट द डिफेंडिंग एशियन कप चैंपियन, एंड जिस तरह से उनकी टीम है एंड जिस तरह से हमारी हालत है, उसकी तो जैसी भी टीम हो, हमारी जिस तरह से हालत है देयर इज नो चांस। एंड जो काफी सारे लोग उसमें फिर एग्जांपल देते हैं कि हमने 2019 में वो जाके करके दिखाया था, वो भाई 10 15 20 सालों में एक बार होता है, ऐसा चुका है। उस मैच में भी हमको पता है कि दैट वाज यू कैन से कि ब्रिलियंट डे फॉर गुरप्रीत सिंह संधू एंड वर्स्ट डे फॉर कतार इन टर्म्स ऑफ द फिनिशिंग वाइज, अदरवाइज वहां पे भी आपका कोई बनता नहीं था। तो ऐसी ऐसी क्या बोलते हैं कि परफॉर्मेंस या फिर ऐसे रिजल्ट बार बार नहीं देखने को मिलता है, सो दैट इज द थिंग।
Yep. I know a win is needed against Kuwait. There's no other way. If we don't make round 3, I'm sure the questions will be asked of the coach. But anything else that you want to see change in the system itself?
See, if we lose, there is no question regarding the coach. I think the coach, I don't know, does he even see the Qatar game? Send him, ticket, ghar, Croatia, Tarawa,
नहीं कर देना चाहिए
best feeling. But again, these guys will not do it, no. So and that's the problem, no. So we like to see consequences But again, I'm skeptical the consequences will happen, because none of the consequences that you would expect, all the big talking from the AFF and whatever's happened, we've not seen any consequences. I mean, the thing is, the craziest thing about this whole national team coach situation is the AFF has changed, at least by name, everything, right? Since they came on. The only thing that they've kept is Igor Stimac.
Igor Stimac.
It's insane. There's no logic to it.
नहीं सर, आई थिंक टू बी ऑनेस्ट, ये मेरा मतलब ये पर्सनल यहाँ पे पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू है कि देर इज ए समथिंग बिहाइंड द सीन. यहाँ पे कोई ऐसा बिहाइंड द सीन डील है यहाँ पे नया एएफएफ रिजिम में, जो भी यहाँ पे लोग एट द मोमेंट है या फिर इससे पहले अभी
See, I think someone who wants to, maybe put in RTI and check what is happening with numbers and all, because that's the only logic that I have. Because otherwise, this coach doesn't stay India coach for 5 years. And I asked the same question the old regime, because with the old regime you could talk about these kind of things, and they were saying no, he's doing this and everything. COVID mein tha, this and that, everything. We're fine. Okay, I let him get. But the point to me is Igor Stimac. 5 years of Igor Stimac now. The best was actually the first 5, 6, 7 months, and thereafter it's been downhill. Whatever he's trying to sell with last year and all that kind of stuff, no, it wasn't good. And that is a reality that we need to talk to realize. And for me, even if India win, but changes are needed. But again, where do we not need changes in Indian football? No, that's the whole problem in this whole pyramid at the moment, right? People are telling us, I don't know, there are people who believe in stuff, and that's the biggest problem. I think there's so many problems across all levels. Someone, I think, Renal asked about the scouting. Again, who is the scouts? Who are the things that the coaches, we need changes in the coaching, and this whole thing, Indian coaches don't get chances. I said, yeah, but I mean, if I look at a foreign coach and an Indian coach, sorry, where is your standard? Where is your quality? And don't talk about the chances and opportunities and that. You're not good enough compared to those guys. But you're not willing to accept that, right? You would like to have a quota system that, get jobs for us.
ये जो सुमलिया चैटर्जी ने जो कमेंट बोला है, आपने जो कमेंट लिखा है, आप उसमें से आप एक साइड इंडियन टीम को रखें, और आपने जो लिखा है वही चेक कर लीजिए कि इसमें से कितनी टीमें, कितनी चीजें जो आपने बोली है वो एट द मोमेंट इंडियन टीम टिक कर रही है, क्या एज ए टीम वो खेल पा रही है. आपने जो बोला है वो जनरलाइज स्टेटमेंट है कि फुटबॉल में भाई मेरे को भी पता है कुछ भी हो सकता है, बट आपने जो चीजें बोली है वो एट द मोमेंट रियलिस्टिकली इंडियन टीम की वो सिचुएशन नहीं है. एंड सामने कतार की भी वो सिचुएशन नहीं है कि वहां पे क्या बोलते हैं कि टीम में दिक्कत चल रही है या फिर उनका फॉर्म नहीं चल रहा. दे आर कमिंग अप फ्रॉम विनिंग, यू कैन से, और डिफेंडिंग एशियन कप, एंड विच यू कैन से जस्ट चेंज द कोच बिफोर द एशियन कप. सो सामने वाली टीम में कोई एट द मोमेंट कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, वो अच्छे फॉर्म से आ रहे हैं. आपकी टीम में सारी दिक्कतें हैं, तो आप फिर कैसे एक्सपेक्ट कर सकते हो कि भाई यहाँ पे हम कुछ कर सकते हैं. इतना ज्यादा क्या बोलते हैं कि पॉजिटिव, ये थोड़ा सा बोल सकते हैं कि और कॉन्फिडेंस हो जाता है. पॉजिटिव रहना जरूरी है, बट उसके लिए आपको तो अपनी पहले जो आपके हाथ में जो चीजें है कि एज ए टीम खेलना है, टीम का एटमोस्फेयर अच्छा होना चाहिए, ये सारी चीजें तो आपको सही करनी पड़ेगी. ट्रेनिंग आपकी सही होनी चाहिए, टीम एंड कोच एंड प्लेयर का जो यहाँ पे रिलेशन है या फिर जो ट्रस्ट है वो होना चाहिए. तो आपकी टीम में वो सारी चीजें ही नहीं है, और फिर आप कैसे एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे हो कि हमारी टीम यहाँ पे कतार के सामने जीते. मैं भी चाहता हूँ भाई जीत जाए, बट इसके लिए ये सारी चीजें तो आपको करनी पड़ेगी ना. तो नहीं है, इसीलिए तो हम बोल रहे हैं.
Yep. Again, the hope is that Sunil Chhetri's last game, at least this game against Kuwait, that we finish off nicely for him, a win.
That hope, Rahul.
I know, Hiren. I know.
It's a very dangerous hope, Rahul, no? Because the other problem is that Sunil Chhetri is not the Sunil Chhetri that he was, a while back. That's the other problem. And Sunil, I hope Sunil does not put too much pressure on himself, that he wants to prove something and he wants to, do something special on that day. So for me, that is a thing that we need to, not to forget, because he will try and do everything that day to try and, give India a fitting farewell, and he deserves that as well. But the question is that this whole, atmosphere and things that you see and pick up, that sort of mahal around the team is not positive in my opinion, and that's the this whole Apuya and Changte situation. Apuya is doing a course. If I'm not wrong, it's abroad, and you will not be able to shift it. And he's been focusing. I mean, he did his exams even during the ISL days. He was if it had been on a match day, he even would have missed out on a match for Mumbai City. And he did miss out a match where we don't know what the reason was. So maybe he did have an exam, right?
Yeah.
So therefore, that to me is something where I say, for his future and for bigger roles post his playing career, great what he's doing. And with Changte, it's too much of confusion. He came in late, certainly. That is what is sure. But the question is, I don't know how this is going to be sort of macro and micromanaged.
टिकट्स का काफी सारे लोग पूछ रहे हैं भाई, मे बी इस वीक या फिर नेक्स्ट वीक तक यहाँ पे ऑनलाइन अवेलेबल हो जाएगा.
Yeah, guys, I mean, everybody who can get out there to watch Sunil Chhetri in his last game, of course, it's a big deal. And please get out there. And I like how Namash said, I hope he doesn't put too much pressure on himself. I hope he enjoys his football. It's his last game. I think that's the biggest thing, putting everything else aside. So, yeah, guys, those are ISL transfer updates. And yeah, thanks for joining, guys. Thanks for joining, everyone. Thanks, Hiren, Rawa as well. Please like and share all the videos, subscribe to all the channels. Sports Kabi, Kirisari, and Arun Foot. We'll be back.
Thanks. And there's a final info for Sanskar. 6th of June is the match against Kuwait in Kolkata at the Salt Lake Stadium. Good night.